Welcome everybody. We have this incredible opportunity to be together. Although these days it might be over Zoom or over the internet, we have this opportunity to talk about meditation. And so I rejoice in everybody's interest in meditation. What we will do is we will first introduce how to meditate, some methods to meditate, so we can start with the practical meditation, doing meditation, and then we will also talk about how or the benefits of meditation and why we should meditate, how it can help us, how it can benefit us. Now, this is also the first time that I am doing this online with recordings, and I think we're doing this, it's a little bit of an experiment. So I hope that it is of benefit to everybody, and of course it'll be good if we can meet live in person. This is often a lot better, or else just over Zoom if we have this opportunity to connect, so that you also have the opportunity to ask questions and to clarify questions with respect to meditation. What we'll do now, we've spoken a little bit on the practice of the meditation. What we will do now as well is that we will talk about meditation and the many reasons to meditate. There are really many reasons to meditate, and the reasons why people come to meditate are very different. So all of these reasons are okay. All of these reasons are fine. Whatever reason you are coming to meditate, this is fine. So some people come to meditate because what they want to do is they want to just relax. Some people start meditating because through meditation our mind can become more calm, we become more aware, and so through this as well our efficiency and effectiveness increases, our anxiety decreases, our worries decrease, and we just generally feel happier. We can use meditation to help reduce our unhappy emotions, our negative emotions, and so also by reducing this we also become much happier. And when we are relaxed and calm, our mind is much more open, and so the decisions we make are also different. They are not so influenced by the fact that we might be unhappy, or that we are angry, or that we are anxious, or that we are full of stress and anxiety. Another as well is to practice so that we become, as I said, happier, and also that we practice to increase our love and kindness. Through increasing our love and kindness and our compassion and our joy, we become much happier. We benefit others much more easily, and if also at the same time we reduce our negative emotions, if our mind becomes more calm and more stable, it becomes much easier for us to benefit others. We don't get so swayed by our own negative thoughts or by negative situations, so we're much better able to benefit others, and ultimately we can attain liberation, we can attain enlightenment. So there are all of these different reasons that we can practice. So while we're practicing over here, it's not important at the moment why you are coming to meditate. It's important first that you know how to meditate and that you do start putting meditation into practice. Why is it important to put it into practice? Is because just by understanding the theory is not going to help us resolve the problems. It's not going to help us to improve our lifestyle. So it's really important that we first understand meditation, and then we really put it into practice, and that's when it really is going to benefit us. And so we mentioned the ways to meditate, and some of the reasons that we may meditate is that it's important to look at our mind. It is so important to look at our mind. In fact, if I think of the most important things that we can do, I would say the most important thing in our life is to be able to look at our mind, to transform our mind, and to know what state of mind or what states of mind are both most going to benefit ourselves and to benefit others. And so in our life, there are two things that are going to be with us throughout our whole life. For as long as we are alive, from the time we are born until the day that we pass away, and that is our body and our mind. Now, most people, we look after our body, we look after our health, we make sure we go to the doctor every now and then, have a checkup maybe, see that everything is okay physically, because we use our body, whatever we are doing, when we go anywhere, when we're doing our work, when we're meeting people, we are using our body. So it's very good and important to have a healthy body. And there's a lot of information on how to look after our body. Magazines, programs, diets, exercise, all sorts of different information. However, how often do we think to look after our mind? For myself, certainly, we were taught a lot about the material world, but we weren't taught much about the mind. I don't know how often we were even taught how important the mind is, and that we can even look after it, we should look after it, and the influence that it has on our life. So when we were brought up, really we were taught healthy body is healthy mind. But if we really think about it, also very much so, healthy mind brings about a healthy body. How can we say this? Is because if our mind is unhappy, if we are full of negative emotions, if we are depressed, if we're stressed, if we're anxious, what happens? It affects our health. So not only does it affect our happiness and our mood, it also affects our health. How does it affect our health? Is that when even science says, doctors will tell us if we're stressed for a long time, if we are anxious for a long time, we're depressed or angry for a long time, this sinks into our cells and it affects our happiness. It affects our health. When we're unhappy, it affects our health. However, when we are full of love and kindness and joy and happiness, when we're relaxed and carefree, then what happens is we are much happier, and when we are much happier, also this brings about better health for ourselves. Generally, we're much healthier, our immune system is much stronger, and we don't get sick as often as other people that are stressed and anxious and depressed. So it's very important to look after our mind as well for our physical health. It is also so important to look after our mental health, to look after our own happiness, not to rely on the external world for our happiness, for our joy, for making us happy or being the cause of our happiness or the cause of our unhappiness. We can do this through looking at our own mind. We can really transform so much by looking at our own mind. When we understand our own mind, transform our own mind, then we become much happier and our world around us also starts to change. So there's really so much benefit for transforming our mind, and really it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Maybe all you need is to understand how to meditate, and then a meditation cushion maybe. That's not even really necessary. And then just to put in the effort to become diligent and to put the meditation into practice. So this is really free. So very important that we look after our mind. If you observe, then we will see we might have many good things in our life. If physically we worry about our physical well-being and our physical happiness, but in reality, if we really investigate, as long as we've got enough to eat, a place to sleep, and we're warm, generally this is enough. Then we very seldom suffering physical pain, unless of course we are sick. This is different. However, so once we have this, then what happens? Where do most of our unhappinesses come from? They really come from our state of mind, from our emotions. If we look at it, we see that how often in the last year or the few years have you had physical suffering? Maybe not a lot. Maybe if you're sick, as we said, maybe then we've suffered. How often have you hurt yourself physically during the last few years? How often has somebody else physically hurt you? Very little. And after being physically hurt, where does most of the suffering carry on? within our mind. Why did that person hurt me? Why are they doing this to me? Actually, most of the suffering is happening in our mind. Or if we're sick, we feel very unhappy mentally. So if we're sick and we are unhappy mentally, then we really have a lot of suffering. However, if we are sick but our mind is still very happy, then really the sickness, the pain isn't so bad. We can use it as an opportunity. We can think of it, oh, this is an opportunity to practice. How can I use this sickness or this suffering or this unhappiness or this pain as a way to practice, to transform myself, to grow? So we see the value of the state of our mind. So when we are unhappy, all the people that are unhappy in this world, we look these days, there really are a lot of depressed people. And in these places where people are depressed, they usually have enough financially, they have enough to eat, they have enough food, they have a place to stay. But where's their unhappiness coming from? It's coming from their state of mind, from the way they're thinking. And so a lot of depression is related to being unhappy mentally, not because of the physical world. There might be situations externally that they feel unhappy about, but it's not actually the external world that it is making them unhappy. It's their attitude towards the external world that makes people or makes us unhappy. So in this way, again, it's very important to look at our state of mind. If you think about it, we can go to a place where we've got really great people with us. It's really beautiful. It might be in the mountains, it might be at the ocean. There's great food, great music, everything is perfect. Place and situation most people would dream about. But if we're unhappy, we're angry, we're disappointed, something is disturbing us mentally in our mind, then it doesn't matter how good it is, how beautiful it is, we're still unhappy. We don't even appreciate it. We don't appreciate the people around us. We don't appreciate our surroundings and everything that we have. We eat and our food doesn't even have any taste. We eat all unhappy. We don't have any appetite. On the other hand, you can go to a place where it's very poor and the people there, they have very little. Maybe they just have a sandwich. And where they're staying, there isn't much materially, but they're so happy. They've got a big smile on their face. They're enjoying themselves. They're laughing. They're appreciating where they are. They're appreciating the people around them. So is this to do with the surroundings that is important, or is it to do with the state of our mind? If we really investigate, it's to do with the state of mind. So when we really think about this, we start to see, oh yes, the state of my mind is really so important. And we don't just have to accept what's going on in our mind. We have the opportunity to change this, to adjust the way we're thinking. And how do we do this? Through our awareness. How do we develop our awareness or return to our awareness? Through the practice of meditation. So we really see how meditation, by understanding this, just as a very simple example, we can really see how meditation can help us. And so what we will do is develop our awareness, return to our awareness through meditation. And so through this, we'll just talk briefly about this today. And then we will talk more as we go along. And so through this, everybody, I hope that in the beginning, maybe what might happen is that it is difficult to meditate because we're not used to it. We don't feel that, oh, we feel like it's a chore. Oh, I have to do this because I really want to change myself. But if we become enthusiastic about it, it's going to be much easier to develop a habit. And then we'll be thinking, when can I meditate again? Let me watch what's going on in my mind. Let me really transform. And as we said earlier, when we transform, when we change our mind, it changes the way we speak, it changes the way we act, and the world around us really begins to change. Everybody, I hope this is a little bit helpful, and then everybody, if you do carry on meditating as we've suggested, meditate 5 or 10 minutes every session, many sessions. Don't try and meditate for too long in the beginning. Just 5 or 10 minutes, and many different sessions whenever you can meditate.